Happy Hour is brought to you by CHANGECARS. CHANGECARS is SA's safest online platform. That's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Welcome to another episode of You Ask, We Answer, where nothing changes, or maybe just a little bit. Can't only have the youngster wearing glasses. Nikki, what do you think of my glasses?
Yeah, I like them. They're quite good. They make it look a bit different.
Oh, thank you. So the key to the show, as we said before, is for Nikki and myself to share our experience. But remember, we don't think we're always right, and we want the engagement from the audience. The show's called You Ask, We Answer, but let me tell you, you speak, we listen. The format, as we said, 3 sections, 2 buying, 2 selling, and 2 general. Should we spend a bit of money to start?
Yeah, let's spend a bit of money.
Awesome. Michael, not me, lives in Nelspruit. He's got a company allowance of 18,000 Rand a month that he has to use to cover the car, the fuel, the insurance, and the running cost. He does a lot of open road driving, which is good for the fuel.
Yeah.
He needs something reliable. He needs something comfortable. Now, 18,000 Rand at face value sounds like a lot of money, but is it when you break it up?
No, when you break it up, definitely not, because you need to like running costs to fuel, then there's insurance.
You've got to finance it?
You've got to finance it. So yeah, definitely. It sounds like a lot, but it isn't.
So any ideas of what he should go for, or can I start?
You can start.
So I've done it the following way. I've said 400,000 Rand is my budget. That will give me an expense of 9,600 Rand a month on finance. So I'm left with just over 8,400. 1,400 for insurance on the car that I'm going to go with, I think comfortably covers it. You're thinking, what car am I going with?
Yeah, I'm trying
so now we're at 11,000. Make sure the car's got a service plan and make sure the car is relatively fuel efficient. What do you think of the Toyota Corolla Quest?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, fuel definitely is good fuel efficiency. It's also good, spacious.
Correct.
Long distance trips, you'll definitely.
And it's a Toyota. So your long-term maintenance, because when you're a rep, you're going to be doing what, 4,000 kilometers a month?
Yeah.
You need to cover mileage. What else are you thinking of?
Well, funny enough, I'm also thinking of a Corolla. It's just that mine is a different type of Corolla. It's a Corolla Cross.
Nice.
I'm looking more like an SUV because it's also from Nelspruit. So you never know the roads in Nelspruit, how they are.
Correct.
So I think you'd want a bit more ground clearance and all those type of things. So definitely for me, I was thinking more to a Toyota Corolla Quest.
But
Not Quest, Cross, sorry.
Of course. So the interesting thing is, and I think we can say to Michael, go for a Toyota, possibly a Suzuki. In this particular case, would you look at any of the new entrants into the market or not?
No.
If I said to you a Cherry or a GWM or a GAC, anything that's not proven?
No, because the main thing that you said there as well is reliability. You want something reliable, and when you speak about reliability, you speak about a car that we know.
Of course.
You can't give the Chinese and say they're reliable. We don't know.
Correct. Now, one other factor. I'm a rep, I'm on the road. I don't know where I'm going to be. I can be in Nelspruit today. I can be in Bloemfontein tomorrow. I can be in the Northern Cape. Which brand has got the most incredible dealer representation across South Africa?
Definitely Toyota.
So you can be driving, you hit a pothole. It's not just the tire or the rim, which is easy to fix.
Yeah.
Tiger wheel and tire, super quick, take care of that. What happens if the suspension's damaged? I need a dealership close to me. If you're a rep on the road, Toyota, Suzuki, without a shadow of doubt, you've got that market covered.
100%.
The next one, very interesting. Mornay has won a tender, a legitimate tender. He's not a tenderpreneur. Can't even pronounce that word. How do you say it?
Tenderpreneur.
Okay. I'm a little bit worried that he knows how to pronounce it so fluently. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. He needs to buy a fleet of buckies, 4 to start, going up to 8. So it's important, in my opinion, that he gets it right. You don't want to be running 2 different makes. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have one sort of make so that if you're changing something, it's
Correct.
the same thing. Because even running costs, if this one costs this much,
Correct.
that one costs that much.
But you establish a relationship with a service manager at the local dealership, if it's Volkswagen, if it's Toyota. So I always say to people, there's 2 things I don't like to mix. Don't mix fleet and don't mix petrol and diesel, because somebody else will do the same.
Yeah.
Needs to buy a fleet of buckies, single cabs, simple options. What are you going with?
Well, we spoke about it in the other episode. Is definitely the Isuzu.
Absolutely. There's a company called Courier. They've got 1,800 buckies. I promise you, if they were getting it wrong, they would have changed. Isuzu single cab, the 58 kilowatt, it's turbocharged, light on fuel, unbreakable, maintenance costs super cheap, light on fuel, But if we have to say one other option, what are you considering?
Toyota Hilux.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, the theft risk we know with the Toyota sadly is immeasurably more than the Isuzu,
I think
but long-term resale value on that
long
Toyota.
term. So I think for him, if he's trying to avoid theft, the main thing is brand the buggies. Brand them. A car that's branded for people that want to hijack it or
More
steal
difficult
it.
to
It's
steal.
more difficult because you steal it and then you need to remove the branding, all that stuff. It's a lot more time. So if you are buying the Hilux, brand it.
But something interesting when we talk about pricing. So if you spoke about the Hilux, guaranteed it will be the most expensive.
Yeah.
But I've got a courier company. I've got a company that's going to do 200,000-300,000 kilos on those vehicles.
Really?
I'll buy a cheap bakkie today. I save money up front. When I come to sell that bakkie, chuck it away. A Hilux with 400,000 kilos. Every single dealership in South Africa, including WeBuyCars, including Wheelie, including all the main players, will want that. So do you agree with me? It's worth spending a little bit more up front?
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you on that.
So Michael, visit your favorite Isuzu dealer, visit your favorite Toyota dealer, and see which one you like more. You won't go wrong with either. After the break, we've now spent some money. We're going to make you some money.
Looking at buying a brand new car? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Beat My Quote tab, because we will beat your quote.
Michelle from Kloof in Durban. Do you know the area Kloof?
No, I do not know.
Neither of us are on comrades, but I know it is amazing area. She refers to herself and she said, I must say it like this, a long-time BMW gal. Not a girl, a gal.
Okay.
She's got a 2022 BMW X2 M35. Now that is,
Yeah.
excuse the pun, the veneer of BMWs. That engine, 34,000 kilos. She wants to know two things. Should she sell it? If yes, more or less what could she get for it? And if we say yes, what should she replace it with? For me, I don't even need to answer the second part of the question.
Why?
Would you sell that car if you
No.
were her?
Honestly, no, because it has 31,000 Ks. It's 2022. Honestly, no, wouldn't sell it. Because if you sell it, what you gonna get? Because you say you're a BMW girl.
Correct.
And new BMW is expensive. And for her to move from an M235, she needs to stay within that or go up. And
Correct.
this next step up from that is the current X3 M50, which is like 1.5, 1.6.
And I don't think you're going that much forward for that extra money. So let's look at all the positives for Michelle. 3 years old, 2 years left on the maintenance plan.
Yep.
When she comes to renew the maintenance plan, potentially in 2 years, she'll only be renewing time. Time is not expensive, mileage is expensive. That car is still ultra modern. The car's worth around 600,000 Rand. Now, in my opinion, that is a car that is giving her far more than 600,000 Rand worth of value.
Yeah.
I don't look at that and see a 600,000 Rand car when I see an X2 35. What do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because her one is definitely just the one just before the current one.
Correct.
So I think maybe she's seen the current one and maybe she's gotten that bug
Little bit
bite
of an itch.
in itch because the new one has the 4 pipes as well. So I think maybe she saw that and she wants that. And because I'm not sure, I think that's close to 1 million. It should be around 1 million right now. And if you put down 600, you end up paying for a lot more time.
So if you put down 600,000 Rand, assuming that the car is fully paid for and you're going to finance a balance
Yeah.
of 400,000, it's going to cost you 10,000 Rand, 120,000 Rand a year. In my opinion, again, not saying we're right, and this is where we'd love the audience to come in. Put yourself in Michelle's shoes. What would you do? Sell or keep? What is the final answer?
Keep on my side.
It's a 1-1 draw between Arsenal and Liverpool. Let's see if the audience agree. Next one is very, very interesting, and I think you'll be able to relate to this.
Yeah.
Ridwan, 2020 Golf GTI 7.5. He wants to know if we would advise him. It's only got 84,000 kilos. Is that high mileage?
Nope.
Not for that car.
No.
He wants to know if you'd be going forward or backwards, in our opinion, by buying a brand new, the new Golf, 8.5?
8.5.
TFSI.
Yeah.
What engine has that got?
That's a 1.4 liter turbo, 4-cylinder, 110.
How difficult is it
kilowatts.
to answer this question? Is he going forward or is he going backwards? So his question is, I'm going forward on tech, I'm going backwards naturally on performance. Is it worth it?
Honestly, no. Because as much as he's most probably seen the 8.5, he's seen the big screens inside, the digital dash, all those type of things. He's not going forward. One, power. the lack of power, you will feel it, especially jumping from the 7.5 GTI to the 8.5
The
TSI.
7.5 GTI, what, about 165, 170?
Yeah, I think it's 169 kilowatts.
169.
And 350 or 320 Newton meters. I've driven and it's a 2 liter, you can feel it. So power wise, it's going to, you won't like the
It's
8.
got all the power you need.
Yeah, you won't like that 8.5. Spec wise, in terms of technology, not really a big upgrade because, yes, maybe he has the smaller screen, but there's no need for the bigger screen that's found, the 12.9 inches found in the 8.5. So, and it's costly, that vehicle. It starts at, well, the R-Line, the one that I test drove recently, that specific spec was closer to 800,000 rand. So
crazy.
Exactly. And it starts at 688 for the R-Line. You can get like a basic one, which is definitely not what he wants. So for me, you should stay with this GTI. Unless if he's selling it to me, then you can get the 8.5. But if he's not selling it to me, keep it.
He can be convinced. So standalone, Golf 8.5, excellent car.
Yeah.
Standalone, the Golf 7.5 GTI, a magnificent car.
Yeah.
To put in extra money to go backwards in terms of performance, just to say I've got the latest shape.
No.
But you see what's interesting here, it's always perspective. Some people say, I don't care about the performance, I just want the latest. And when the new Golf 8.5 GTI maybe eventually makes its debut in South Africa, it's going to make its debut, yeah.
Yeah, chances are it's going to make it. They're trying to push it for before the end of this year. They're trying to push it. But sticking on that, there's no need for the 8.5. If he really wants to get into like an 8th generation Golf, you can get a 8 GTI.
And that is magnificent.
That is magnificent.
Interesting, 7.5 to 8 as an alternative option, and I love that.
Yeah.
How much of a difference is there in the 8 to the 7.5?
Comfortability.
Yeah.
The seats are much better in the 8. You do get these features that you most probably want in the 8.5.
Right.
Like the screens are there, digital dash. It feels good. It is also it looks a bit bigger. Design is different on the outside, but it's not really like a major upgrade. Even then, I'll tell you to stick to 7.5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there you found 3 options. Keep it, go backwards, or a happy middle ground if you got the itch, as we always say.
Yeah.
Golf 8 GTI, superb. But the main thing is, stay within the Golf family.
Yeah.
Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Ask Mikey tab.
For me, the absolute favorite part of the show is the general, because I'm always learning something and I'm seeing different perspectives. Town of Welkom in the Free State, ever been there?
No, welcome. No, I haven't. Welcome. No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't.
270 kilometers from Joburg, roughly 130 kilometers from Bloemfontein. The last time I was there, when they had the MotoGP in about 2001 at the Pakisa Raceway. Nice little mining town. What is Welkom historically famous for? Let's see if you have any idea.
I have no idea.
There was not a robot or traffic light in town. It was a town designed only with traffic circles.
Oh, wow.
Not a robot in town. Today they do have robots because the taxis don't obey traffic circles, but I don't think they obey robots either. Tembin Corsi, 2017, Nissan NP200, but not the 1600. He's got the 1.5 diesel. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of the diesels. A lot of people say they're problematic. I've never heard of them being problematic. 156,000 kilos, and his exact question is, does he keep it or does he sell it? He adds it has not given him a day's trouble. He bought it almost brand new, 2018. He bought it from a Nissan dealer and it had, I think, 8,000 kilos. Keep it or sell it. For me, again, super simple.
It's simple. It's paid off. It's not giving him problems. He must keep it because if you're to sell it, what is he going to get?
So this is what is so interesting and why we love sharing this. Let's assume he sells it. He gets 90,000 rand for it. He's got a deposit. He's going to spend 300,000 rand to replace it. So now he's got to finance 200,000 rand. It's not going to cost him less than 5,500 rand. Is he going to spend 60 or 65,000 rand a year maintaining his existing vehicle?
Nope.
He's financing a new vehicle that's going to depreciate. His Nissan Bucky, whatever it's worth today, 80, 90, 100,000 that we said, is going to maintain that value.
Yeah.
Don't sell it. And why I absolutely love this question, the situation that Tembin Corsi faces, I will guarantee you, Nikki, so many people have got the same situation.
Yeah.
I've got an 8-year-old car, old in terms of time, but I know the car. It's not giving me trouble. It's paid off. I don't have this monthly installment commitment. Keep. one of the things I can see is we're not going to get sponsors from new car dealers. They're going to say, guys, you're supposed to tell them sell. If it's got over 100,000,
Sell.
in the old days, I use the word the old days, 100,000 kilometers was like a death sentence for a car. It was like the absolute worst. It was worse than being divorced. Tell me about yourself. Well, my son's a drug addict. I'm divorced, and my car's got 100,000 kilos. Oh my word! You got to sell.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
100%.
But today, what for you on the right Japanese car? Because Nissan is Japanese. Some people say it's got a Renault engine. It's Japanese. What is the right kilos to sell?
Right
A
now,
car like that, not less than 200.
no, not less than 200. Right now, definitely after 200, as you're approaching 300, then you can start thinking about such things.
So Nikki and myself today, we're always on the same team. Do you agree with us?
Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit changecars.co.za.
To end the show, a nice one. Caravanning. You ever been caravanning?
Nope.
So it's interesting. 1978. You're hearing it correctly. Just before I went to grade 1 was the last time I went caravanning. Until today, I wish to go caravanning again. It's just one of those things. I don't think I would do it all the time, but just once off. What yourself, as a matter of interest, any reason you've never been caravanning? Just not what the family did?
Yeah, definitely not what the family did. I haven't been exposed around caravans. I hardly know much about caravans to start with as well. So definitely,
They don't tow themselves. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So interesting, and that's what Kuni's question is. So the exact question today is Kuni. He wants to buy a caravan. He wants to take you caravanning with him, Nikki. He wants to buy a Jurgens exclusive. Now, anybody knows about caravans. I call it the Manier of caravans. Double axle. I don't know if you've seen some caravans have got one wheel on each side, and others have got 2 wheels. It's only the Jurgens exclusive and the Jurgens something else. I think it's even more expensive. But he's buying a Jurgens exclusive, 2014, from his friend that's never used it. But he's got a challenge. He wants to know. Now remember, this is a big caravan.
Yeah.
VW Amarok 2 litre or Isuzu 1.9. Is that powerful enough to pull that caravan? For me, I have the answer straight away.
I'm gonna try to say yes, but no. I feel like if, especially those two looking, I'd tell the person to lean more to the Isuzu.
Correct.
But if you can, get the 3 litre.
Absolutely.
3 litre. The 1.9, it will tow it. I'm not saying it won't. It will. But looking at where the person he wants to go to Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga, there's mountainous areas. There'll be a time where you'll be driving, especially in Mpumalanga, when you're coming back with the N4, it's very mountainous. So you'd want that grant, and 3 litre D-Max is what will give you that.
So I think you've truly nailed it. Will it tow? Absolutely. A modern 2 litre putting out 120, 140 kilowatts with 400, 450 Newton meters of torque. It's more than enough, and I use the word more than. However, compare it to a 2.8 Fortuner or a 2.8 Hilux or a 3.2 litre Mitsubishi Pajero. It will be an immeasurably better towing experience. Now, you spoke about the Isuzu, the 3 litre. I've had the pleasure of driving the Isuzu D-Max with a 3 litre. That is an old school, and I say old school, a little bit clattery. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah.
Have you also heard that?
Very loud.
It is very, very loud.
Very loud, yeah.
But the performance of that, the longevity. So Kuni, to answer your question, a 1.9 or 2 litre will get the job done. You're buying the Manier of caravans, buy the Manier of vehicles. Nikki, what do we always say to the public? What do we need more than anything? We need questions to give them answers to.
So definitely ask questions, guys. It's very important so we can engage with you guys. We can answer some of them here. If we can't answer them, some of them here, we're going to answer them on TikTok. And sometimes you'll ask a question, we won't answer it, because one of the audience is going to answer that question for you. So we actually appreciate you guys engaging with us. Send us questions. My email address is on the screen. Michael's email address is also on the screen. So reach out.
Michael at Change Cars or Yahweh at Change Cars. And remember, I've said it before, we can't get fired, so make it as tough as you like. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Yahweh was brought to you by Change Cars. Our name says it all.